Welcome back to Informed Sources. It has been a rough start to the 2025 for the Memphis Shelby County School Board. Last week, the board made the controversial decision to terminate the contract of Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. In the wake of that decision, there has been a lot of talk of a potential state takeover of the board. The school board chair, Joyce Doris Coleman, told our Alex Coleman this week she remains confident in the decision to remove Dr. Fagans and replace her with interim superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond.
I don't think the wrong decision was made. The board voted and the board spoke. Dr. Richmond has done this for over 30 years. He has the qualifications, and that's why we chose him as our interim superintendent.
Dr. Richmond told us he's already met with Tennessee state lawmakers Mark White and G.A. Hardaway and wants to meet with House Speaker Cameron Sexton to avoid a state takeover of the district. Worth, if the state did take over, how would that benefit our kids?
I think regrettably they have to. This is a failure of leadership by the local board, by some of the local board, and those with the ability to act have the responsibility to act. And at this point, I think the state board needs to come in. It doesn't mean they'll be doing the day-to-day management or operations, but they can come in and appoint a board that will at least have the best interest of the children at heart, rather than the sham of a process that we saw. And I think a lot of hints or evidence towards self-interest rather than the interest of the kids.
Whether it's reality or perception, there appears to be chaos going on at the school board. Would our kids benefit from a state takeover, or would that be detrimental?
I don't think they'll benefit because, number one, we've had that. We've seen it before. And when the state takeover happened and they walked in the door and had these ideas, and then you found out it didn't work.
But haven't we seen the same procedures taking place within the school district over and over again, and when we try to make a change, that's when something happened?
I totally agree with the fact that there needs to be an overhaul, but I think that overhaul needs to happen from a local perspective. I think we need to sit down with some
Is the leadership there to do that, do you think?
I think the leadership's there. I think what happens, sometimes you put yourself in a situation where you have to make a hard decision. And I know we use the word controversial. And when you use the word controversial, means that it's not a popular decision. But we've seen popular decisions walk across the aisles. I mean, when we talk, the actual voucher situation is a controversial decision. Yeah. And so I don't see the federal government coming in and saying, I'm taking over the state government because they passed something that I think is controversial. And you had an uproar of people that said they didn't want that to happen, and it happened. And we had an uproar of people that did not want Dr. Fagans let go, and it happened. But I think if cooler heads prevail and we're not doing this political posturing, have a conversation with the people that are in charge and make sure they're on the path to making things better for the children.
All right. I'm sorry to cut you off. We're going to have to leave it there. We're running out of time. But in the meantime, we'll have some final thoughts. Stay with us.